Asterisk, they say family will lift you higher than anyone else, or cut you deeper than any enemy ever could. Asterisk for me. It was my own sister. Asterisk, I grew up in Chicago. My father built a small empire with his hands. Real estate, diners, small businesses across the Midwest. He wasn't a billionaire, but he was a self-made man, proud and respected. And when he passed away, he left behind more than just money. He left behind his legacy. Asterisk, half of that legacy was mine. Or at least it was supposed to be. Asterisk, but then came my sister, Olivia. Charming, elegant, and always hungry for more. She had married Ethan, a man who wore designer suits but couldn't pay off a single credit card without my father's bailouts. Everyone in the family knew he was greedy. Everyone except Olivia. Asterisk, when my father died, grief clouded everything. Between funerals, lawyers, and paperwork, I signed a few documents Olivia pushed in front of me. She hugged me and said, "Don't worry, I'll handle all of this. You just focus on healing." Asterisk, I trusted her. After all, she was my sister. Asterisk, months later, I sat in my lawyer's office. He looked at me with an awkward pause before saying, "You do realize you signed away your inheritance to Olivia's husband, right? The businesses, the properties, they're all in Ethan's name now." Asterisk, my stomach turned cold. My hands shook. My sister, my own blood, had given away my inheritance to that man. Asterisk, I confronted her that evening. She stood in her penthouse kitchen, a glass of champagne in her hand, Ethan smirking beside her. Asterisk, she looked me dead in the eye and said, "Asterisk, it's ours now. You always played the weak one. Dad trusted me, not you. So I took what I deserved." Asterisk, I didn't shout. I didn't fight. I walked away. Because while Olivia thought she had won, she had no idea who she was playing with. Asterisk, the first thing I did was hire a forensic accountant. I wanted every detail of Ethan's financials, every hidden loan, every shady deal. And what we found? It was a gold mine. Ethan wasn't just greedy. He was dirty. Money laundering. Fake shell companies. Real estate scams stretching across 3 states. Asterisk, next, I went to the FBI. Not as a victim, but as a whistleblower. I handed over every document, every fraudulent transaction. They listened. They asked questions. And within weeks, an investigation began. Asterisk, meanwhile, Olivia and Ethan flaunted their new wealth. New cars, lavish parties, trips to the Bahamas. They thought they were untouchable. Asterisk, until one Friday night. Asterisk, it was their big celebration. Olivia's birthday gala. Hundreds of guests. Champagne towers. A jazz band playing Sinatra. And right when Ethan raised his glass to toast his family empire, the doors crashed open. Asterisk, federal agents stormed the ballroom. Asterisk, Ethan Hayes, you are under arrest for fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering. Asterisk, gasps filled the room. Olivia dropped her champagne flute. Guests froze as agents handcuffed Ethan in front of everyone. Cameras flashed. Phones recorded. The mighty empire collapsed in seconds. Asterisk, but it didn't end there. The government seized every asset tied to Ethan's name. His penthouse, his cars, his accounts, gone. And because Olivia had transferred my inheritance directly into Ethan's fraudulent shell companies, every dollar she thought was hers vanished too. Asterisk, the final blow. My lawyer filed a civil case. With the inheritance fraud exposed, the court reversed the transfer. My father's businesses, the diners, the properties, restored to me where they always belonged. Asterisk, as for Olivia, she went from penthouse suites to a rented apartment on the south side, her credit destroyed, her reputation in shambles. Ethan? He's serving time in federal prison. Asterisk, and me. I sit in my father's old diner every morning, coffee in hand, watching the sun rise over Chicago. The businesses thrive under my leadership. The legacy is safe, exactly where Dad wanted it. Asterisk, but here's the lesson. Asterisk betrayal hurts most when it comes from family, but it also fuels a fire like no other. Never mistake silence for weakness. Sometimes silence is just strategy, asterisk, so remember this. If someone betrays you, don't waste your time screaming. Build your case, gather your evidence, and when the time is right, dismantle their empire with the weight of the law. Asterisk, because revenge isn't loud. It's calculated, asterisk, and when it lands, it leaves them with nothing, asterisk. If this story shook you, don't just watch. Subscribe right now. I've got more tales of betrayal, brutal justice, and elegant revenge. And trust me, you don't want to miss the next one. Asterisk, stay strong. Stay relentless, asterisk.